What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? Tonight, we're talking Jackie Bradley Jr. going to the Milwaukee Brewers. Nate Pearson possibly dealing with maybe a long-term injury. We'll have to go take a look at that. Framber Valdez definitely could be dealing with a long-term injury. We're going to go take a look at that, at what it means for the Astros. We're going to take a look at MLB.com's World Series odds for this upcoming season. Let's get to it. What is going on, baseball fans? How you doing tonight? Hello. 34 people in the chat to start things off. What is going on, everyone? How you doing? A lot of familiar faces as always. We got Yogi Dude here, Daniel Wells, Bobby Ross Paints, Michael Yench. Who else we got? We got Jackson here as well, Nate Beast, Vincent Preston, what is going on? Hello. Michael Montez, what is going on? We had a new subscriber in here. We got Robert Sharpton in the chat. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Appreciate you coming along for the ride. Hello. Wesley Chad Larks, what is good, my friend? Aiden, hello. Edmund 19, what's going on? Taylor Ellis, Nahawand is here. What is going on? Odd Villain is here. What is up? Alrighty, everyone. If I missed you, hello, how are you? Hey, finally, Jackie Bradley Jr. I mean, it kind of pains me a little bit to say, but you know what? I mean, I kind of figured it was time to move on, and that has happened. Jackie Bradley Jr. is heading off elsewhere. We'll talk about where he is going. We'll talk about what it means for that team. Pretty interesting signing. We got a little Nate Pearson news dealing with a minor injury. Could it be a long-term injury? We'll have to take a look at that. Framber Valdez, on the other hand, could be dealing with a big-time long-term injury, and what that could mean for the Astros. Could that possibly mean maybe a certain free agent out there maybe now could be open to maybe coming to the Astros? We'll have to wait and see. We'll take a look at that. And MLB.com coming out with their World Series likely winner rankings. Is that what you call them? Their World Series odds or whatever. We're going to take a look at those as well. Pretty interesting top to bottom. I'm going to go through each team. If I think a team should be higher, maybe lower. And yeah, we'll talk about it. So, everyone, before I get started, if I may, as always, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 6K by opening day. Hey, we've got a few subscribers over the last day. Maybe it's starting to pick up. Traffic has been very slow as of late. Hopefully, the traffic starts to pick up as we get closer to the season. Hit that like button for me, everyone. It really is going to help go get this stream out there. It's going to help quite a lot, actually. That like button, YouTube loves the like button. Go follow me on Twitter as well if you would like to talk some baseball throughout the day. Alrighty, everyone. So, we might as well just go ahead. Let's get started. I'm seeing just under 40 people in the chat. Hopefully, we can get a pretty decent turnout for tonight. And, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the news. The first story of the day, Jackie Bradley Jr. signing with the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, to be honest with you, out of all the YouTube guys out there who talk baseball, I mean, I'd like to say I'm one of the more familiar ones with Jackie Bradley Jr. Jackie Bradley Jr., to me, one of my favorite players since he came into the league in 2013. I remember when he first came up, he was tearing apart spring training. This guy was just like hitting everything that spring training, and then he earned a spot on the team. Thought that was awesome. Ended up kind of slumping in that, to the start of that season. Ended up going back down to the minor leagues, and there was like this whole thing with his service time and everything like that. But he ended up having, he kind of was really not very good with the bat in the first couple of years. And Let me get this music turned off. There we go. So not very good with the bat in the first few years. It really took him a couple of years to get going. But for the most part, offensively, he's always been a little inconsistent. He can be a bit streaky. But as of late, when he did go on some streaks, he was pretty hard to sit down. The guy would bring some power. He would drive in some runs. This past year, he was doing pretty well, getting on base pretty well. And let's actually go take a look at the numbers with Jackie Bradley Jr. Here we go here. Let's take a look. All right, sharing the screen. All right, so Jackie Bradley Jr., this past season, he was actually doing pretty good. Hit 283 this past season, 7 homers. He had a 364 on base. He had an 814 OPS. Yes, it was a small sample size, but he hasn't had that high of an OPS since you go back to 2015, 2016. 2016, I would say overall, was his best season, had an 835 OPS, 26 homers, had the 87 RBIs. But then 2018, that was, not a very good year during the season, but in the playoffs, he really turned it on in the playoffs, had some clutch hits in that playoffs, especially in the American League Championship Series, won the ALCS MVP. He was awesome. I remember tagging him. I was using the Instagram story at the time, and I had a video of just him hitting the grand slam against the Astros that basically put an end to that game. I think that was game 5 or game 4? I can't remember the exact game to be specific, but I remember putting a video on my Instagram story of that, going crazy, and he actually watched he saw, oh, we got a super chat coming in. What's going on? Don't worry about the slow traffic. Yes, spring training. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little slow right about now. It's just crazy, Matthew, how we were going from 8,000 views, on the Trevor Bauer stream, 7,000 views on the Nolan Arenado stream, big time views. And now it's now we're sitting here at 40 people when we had, we were consistently getting around 200 to 300 people per stream. And, the Trevor Bauer stream, we had 550 to 600 people. Nolan Arenado, I think we hit 500 people at one time. So it's just crazy to see how the dip in viewership is, during this time. It is an awkward time. Spring training, everyone's kind of getting the juices going again. Drew Venny is here, the perfect person to have here to talk about this news. But Matthew, yes, hopefully the traffic does pick up a little bit in the next few weeks. I'm sure it will once we start talking, about predictions and all that stuff too. So thank you again for the super chat. Really appreciate that. And yes, Drew Venny, we are talking about Jackie Bradley Jr. signing with the Brewers. You were right on time, my friend. So, but yeah, I was saying how Jackie Bradley Jr., I posted a video of me. I was watching the game. I had a video of the grand slam that he hit in the 2018 ALCS, and he liked I tagged him in it, and he liked it. So it's not very often that a guy, one of these professional athletes will even see anything that you put or anything you tag them in. And I think he's the only one. I've tagged guys who have played in the majors, and whatnot before, but, they will never even see it or whatever. But, hey, Jackie Bradley Jr. was cool enough to like my video that I had. So, hey, I'll give him that. But, yeah, JBJ, he's always been great in the community with Boston. He's always just been a solid guy. Stand-up guy. He was very reliable. If you go take a look at this, for the last, how many years now? 5 years, playing at least. 2017, he did miss some time, I forget what the injury was, but I remember he did have to miss some time. But, for the most part, he's played at least 130 games. Minus this past year, it was a shortened season. So, yeah, he's been a very reliable player going back a few years now. The bat has been, comes and goes. But the one thing with Jackie Bradley Jr., as we all know, the defense is electric. The guy just makes highlight reel play after highlight reel play, gets a job defensively. He gets the routine plays done. And it's going to be, I think this is a good move for the Brewers. I like this move a lot. Let's actually go take a look at what the Brewers are going to look like here. So if I go pull up the Brewers, taking a look. So very interesting because they had Lorenzo Cain in center field. Now, okay, so they've actually moved some stuff around here. So as of this morning, when I looked at this, when the signing happened, they had Lorenzo Cain over in right. And now they have Jackie Bradley in right. So is Bradley going to be the center fielder, or is it going to be Kane? I mean, this is according to Fangraphs, according to their depth charts. Is there any news on him possibly moving to right? Has that been a confirmed thing? Can anyone confirm that for me in the chat? Is he like officially going to be in right field? Have they said that? Or are they going to be moving Kane to right field? So, speaking of center fielders for the Red Sox, Jarren Duran today hitting another home run. I mean, I don't know. I'm getting some Jacoby Ellsbury vibes from this guy. Hopefully this guy doesn't end up having a great career with the Red Sox and then ends up signing with the Yankees, 7 years down the road. Can that please not happen? Jarren Duran, if you're watching this stream, can you please not be another Red Sox center fielder that ends up playing for the Yankees? Can that please not happen? Yes, Yogi dude, Grady Sizemore vibes too. He gives me the kind of that hype around Jacoby Ellsbury, but he kind of reminds me more of a Grady Sizemore. So I think that's a good little mix. Jacoby Ellsbury, Grady Sizemore. So Stephen Clay, Craig Counsell said they're still uncertain. They're going to experiment. I mean, I could imagine those two guys are going to move around a little bit. So, but if we go back to the depth chart, like I said this morning, when I did look at this, they had Jackie out in center field and they had Lorenzo out in right. So, I mean, the thing is, really, this is a good problem to have. Because the defense is going to be insane. This defense is going to be nuts. I mean, are you kidding me? Do you guys see the defense on this team? You have Colton Wong at second. You got Lorenzo Cain out in center. Lorenzo Cain is a very formidable center fielder wherever he ends up playing. If we go take a look, look at the defensive numbers. Look at the defensive numbers over the years. This guy's insane. The bat, he barely played this past year. Did he opt out of the season or what ended up? I don't remember what happened with Lorenzo Cain, but he barely played. But the defense is top notch. This team, are you kidding me? This team up the middle is nuts defensively. Orlando Arcia, he's a good glove, right? Yeah, look at this glove. This Brewers team is really good defensively. Drew Venny, yes, he did opt out. I thought he opted out or something like that. This team defensively is nuts. You're getting rid of Keston Hiura from second base, moving him to first. Hopefully that is a decent move. Hopefully he's fine there at first. But you're getting Colton Wong at second. You're getting either Bradley or Lorenzo Cain in center. You're getting Arcia at short. The defense on this team is just insane. It's nuts. I have no idea what to say. Nuts up the yes, there's the good saying of the night. But I really like this Brewers team. It has taken a little bit this offseason to kind of get this team going. They got Travis Shaw back. Can he get that offense back? Oh, we got a super chat coming in. Keep up the great work, Robbie. I love how you're not super biased for your team, unlike Giraffe Neck. Hey, that's what I'm trying. I'm trying, my friend, and I really appreciate you giving me that super chat and that very nice compliment. I really appreciate that. That's my goal, to not be a biased YouTuber. I promise you all, if I ever pick the Red Sox to win the World Series, it is not because I am a big Red Sox fan. I promise you that. I will only pick the Red Sox. I'm telling you right now, I'm struggling right now with where to put the Red Sox for my predictions this year. I am struggling with it because I honestly don't know what this team is going to do, but I promise you, whatever I end up doing with the Red Sox this year, I promise you it won't be out of bias. So, but yes, Matthew, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. But back to the Brewers. This team is really good defensively. You have great defense. You have good starting pitching. You have a potentially really good bullpen, at least at the back end. Are you kidding? The only problem with this team is the offense. But if you get Christian Yelich to bounce back, if you can get Lorenzo Cain's bat going a little bit, Travis Shaw, Keston, I don't know. I'm getting good vibes with this team. This is a really good team. I'm sorry, Cardinal fans. I know you got Nolan Arenado. I know you got him. That's a great move, but I really like this team. I mean, you're going to have to count on some bounce-back seasons offensively, but the pitching is there. The defense is absolutely there. The bullpen is there, at least at the back end. I mean, you have... The only problem this team has is like maybe the offense. I mean, because the offense was just so bad, so you're going to have some guys bounce back. They don't have too much minor league depth. So, I mean, they're going to have some guys stay healthy. So I worry about the depth a little bit and the offense a little bit. But I like this team. I think this team is more than capable of winning this division. I mean, the bullpen, they're projected to be pretty good. I mean, I love Devin Williams. Absolutely love Devin Williams. Had him on my fantasy team last year. That guy helped carry me to a championship last year. That guy was nuts. But you got some, the projections in here. I mean, you got a few guys here in the 4s, but then you got Suter. Hader. Let's see if Hader, he's been kind of, digressing every single year. Can he kind of get it right? Especially with Devin Williams breathing down his neck. If you get Hader on top of his game and then Williams can keep doing what he did this past year, that could be the most nasty 1-2 punch in the bullpen in the major leagues. Odd villain, it's really funny because I was talking to my best friend today, and he basically compared the NL Central to like a bum fight. Like just two bums just fighting out in the streets. And because I mean, what is the win total going to be for this division? Is it going to be 88 wins? I mean, is it going to be 85? Is it going to be what is it going to be? I don't know. I think this Brewers team could win 90. I think the Brewers or Cardinals could win 90. Are they going to be a 95 win team? I don't know. Oh, we got another super chat from Matthew again. You're on fire, my friend. Milwaukee better learn to hit again. Last year was bad. One of the worst teams offensively last year, and they couldn't do anything against the Dodgers in that wild card round. So, but yeah, either way, I mean, I love Jackie Bradley Jr. I've always had a soft spot for him. The diving catches this guy would make out in the outfield. I mean, the guy would put his body on the line. He would literally just go all out for some of these catches, and you couldn't just help but appreciate that. The guy is a magician out there. He's not just, the highlight reel kind of a guy. He runs great routes. Maybe the speed has gone down a little bit, but he's still very good with his sprint speed. Jackie Bradley, I think, is going to be a good welcome addition to this team. I mean, you are sliding now Avisail Garcia to the bench. At least that's what it's looking like. So I don't know. I kind of like the bench. I mean, I like the starting pitching. I like this Brewers team. I like it a lot. And hey, you guys know me. I've said this a ton of times. I'm a sucker for defense. I do. When you got Colton Wong and Jackie Bradley Jr. and Lorenzo Cain and Arcia, I mean, that's pretty good. That's really good. So, Cain in left, Bradley in center, Yelich in right. I would think Yelich would be more of the left fielder. I feel like you would want Cain out in right or Bradley. Really? Cain out in left? I think that's a little, I don't know. I feel like I'd rather have right field, you got basically two center fielders out there. I don't know. So I have to wait and see how they end up doing it. But I like the move. I think it's a good move for the Brewers. This move, I think, really makes this Brewers team definitely very competitive for that National League Central. I am leaning towards maybe picking them for the NL Central. I just really like a lot of aspects of that team. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know what you guys think. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. Jackie Bradley Jr. to the Brewers. I like the move. I'm giving it a thumbs up. I mean, what can I say? I like Jackie Bradley Jr. first off, but I think it's just a great move for the Brewers. I mean, that defense now, it's great. So I like it. But here we go, everyone. Moving on to our next story, we're going to, since Jackie Bradley Jr. was in the American League East for his whole career, we might as well stay in the American League East. And we're going to talk about the Toronto Blue Jays. Nate Pearson dealing with a groin strain. He strained it this past Monday in his first spring training start. Let's get to the story. Here we go. Alrighty, so Nate Pearson. Sharing the screen. So Nate Pearson dealing with it's a minor groin strain. In my years of powerlifting, I have definitely strained a groin here and there. They're definitely not the most fun to deal with, especially walking around the first few days. But I would say with me, I wasn't pitching when I strained my groin, but I remember it took me like a good week or two, and then I've never had a problem with it since. So. But the Blue Jays, they're hoping that he's going to be returning pretty quickly. Ross Atkins, or according to general manager Ross Atkins. So as we know with Nate Pearson last year, this guy was one of the top prospects in baseball, making his debut last year, 18 innings. Not a great ERA. He had 4 starts. Rookie season, you're never going to expect the best numbers, especially in a short season. So, it's just going to take him some time to get accustomed to the major league level. That's just going to happen with a lot of these guys. He walked a lot of guys. He gave up 5 home runs in 18 innings. That's terrible. Overall, just a really bad year for Nate Pearson, but it's a rookie season and a short season, only 4 starts. I'm sure if he had more starts to work with, maybe he could have, put himself into that rookie of the year conversation, but we will never know. However, the Blue Jays, they are counting on him this year. So the one thing about the Blue Jays where I'm kind of struggling with the Blue Jays a little bit, because I think they're going to be a good team, but the only thing that kind of holds me back, I'm just not a fan when you're kind of looking. They have some guys in this rotation. They're going to need some bounce back seasons to make, to put it all together. Robbie Ray, I like Robbie Ray, but can he keep the walks down? He's going to strike some guys out, but can he keep the walks down? Tanner Roark had a bad year last year. Steven Matz, bad year last year. Ross Stripling, bad year last year. So there's some question marks in the starting rotation. And Nate Pearson himself is a question mark. So, at least for this year, I think for his career, he has all the potential in the world to be one of the top guys in the league. But, for this year, really, you could say this is like his actual, like last year, I would say it was maybe like half of a rookie season. Do you even count last year as 4 starts? Definitely good experience, but really, was that really a full rookie season? So, they're going to be leaning on this guy a little bit. And if he's not healthy, if he's missing starts, and these other guys aren't, coming through like a Robbie Ray, a Roark, or a Matz, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. And there's the one thing I worry about with this Blue Jays team, again, it's the starting pitching. I'm not quite sure what to think of it. I like Hyun-Jin Ryu, but I feel like, you could use another guy at the top right there. Could this maybe entice the Blue Jays to maybe go after Jake Odorizzi a little more? Maybe they think, oh boy, here we go, Nate Pearson, groin strain. All right, you know what? Let's just go get Odorizzi just in case. So, it's just a little iffy. It's a little iffy, but I think Nate Pearson, he's going to end up being fine. I'm sure Blue Jays fans are kind of holding their breath at the moment. I think it's going to be fine, but definitely something to keep an eye on with Nate Pearson, because this Blue Jays team, I think, has a ton of potential to be really good this year. I think they could be a team that maybe gets to the ALCS this year. I'm not quite sure. I haven't fully decided yet, but look out for this team. But they are going to need starting pitching. Oh, we got a super chat coming through. Michael Yanch, what is going on? Jose Castillo is a bust, just like Corey Lupke, always getting hurt. Jose Castillo, let's go take a look. Alrighty, so let's go take a look at Jose Castillo. Thank you again for the $5 super chat, Michael Yanch. So we got Jose Castillo here, Michael Yanch, putting in the super chat. So let's go take a look at him. 25 years old. So 2018 was when he debuted, had 38 innings that year. And then 2019, he through 2/3 of an inning, and he got 2 strikeouts. So, what was he an international signing? So Jose Castillo, was he hurt this past year? I would imagine he was probably hurt. Haven't heard too much about Jose Castillo. What is this? So Lamet. Okay, so Lamet pitched the other day, and so he's looking okay. But Castillo, his simulation game had to get halted after 6 pitches because of forearm tightness. Ooh, well, that's not good. So, yeah, every time you're getting some kind of tightness in that forearm, you got to watch out for that. I'm glad Lamet was looking all right, though. So, definitely got to keep an eye out for Jose Castillo. Have to keep an eye out for it. Sounds like maybe you could be looking maybe at a Tommy John. So he's only pitched 1 game over the past 2 seasons because of an assortment of injuries. Hoping the best for him. Hoping the best. So we'll have to take a look at how he does this year. Will he go on the shelf? We'll have to take a look and see. So Michael Yench, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, my friend. Alrighty, moving on to our next story. So we have another injury to discuss. We talked about this yesterday, actually. We talked about Framber Valdez. He had a fractured finger yesterday, but now it could be looking a little more serious for Framber Valdez. Could Framber Valdez end up missing the entire season? The entire season. Yesterday, I mean, it was kind of unknown yesterday what was going on with him. So let's go pull up the story here. Here we go, sharing the screen. Alrighty, so now it is looking likely that he's going to get surgery. The initial recommendation, The initial recommendation for treatment of Valdez's injury is surgery, tweets John Heyman. Let's go take a look at that tweet, see word for word what he said. The initial recommendation for top young Astros starting pitcher Framber Valdez is for surgery to repair his fractured ring finger. And the early belief is that could mean he would miss the 2021 season. But the team is getting second opinions before commenting further. That's insane. To miss a whole season? Wow. Like that's nuts. So, because yesterday they only had the diagnosis. There was no timetable for his return. When I read that, I always hate reading that sentence. There's no timetable for a return. I always get worried about that. And I was kind of thinking that yesterday, but I'm thinking, all right, well, it's just his finger. I'm sure it's fine. But, fingers, if you break a finger or something like that, those can really take a long time to actually come back from. And especially like a ring finger where you need, that certain finger for grips on your pitches. And I mean, he wouldn't be able to pitch. So, I mean, that's a tough blow if he ends up missing the whole season. If we go take a look at the Astros depth chart right now, their starting pitching is looking a little thin. You got Zach Greinke, who I like Zach Greinke, but he's almost, he's 37 and a half years old. I mean, he's going to be 38 by the end of the season. Lance McCullers Jr., I mean, that's fine, but I don't really see him as a number 2. Jose Urquidy, Christian Javier, Luis Garcia. This rotation, it's looking a little thin. So, I don't know. But, since we just had a starting pitcher today, or I don't know what's going on with my brain. Since we just had a free agent today in Jackie Bradley Jr. signed, we still have another starting pitcher out there. And his name is Jake Odorizzi. Could the Astros go after Jake Odorizzi right now? I don't see why not. I mean, he's just sitting out there. He's not getting the contract that he wants. So, I mean, it just seems to make sense to me. Who else do the Astros have? I mean, you do got guys like Forrest Whitley down in the minor leagues, but is he going to be ready? I don't know. I would imagine they want to give him some more time in the minor leagues. But Jake Odorizzi is a seasoned veteran who could come in and help you right away. So, I don't know. It's Fangraphs, they actually did an article 3 days ago. Let's see if they had the Astros as a suitor for a Jake Odorizzi. So I believe they had the Nationals, they had the Phillies, they had the Red Sox. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind a Jake Odorizzi. Wouldn't mind him, but he's going to put us over that luxury tax, so probably not. The Rays would be interesting. The Indians would be interesting. I think the Angels would be a great fit. They do have the Astros. So, as they have right here. So, this one makes a whole lot of sense, particularly given that Odorizzi pitched in Tampa Bay when general manager James Click was in the team's front office. Greinke, Lance McCullers Jr., and Framber Valdez project as a solid 1-2-3, but Jose Urquidy, Christian Javier, and Forrest Whitley project to produce just 2.3 wins above replacement in 243 innings, with the last of those having high upside but a long track record for injuries. Justin Verlander, meanwhile, ain't walking through that door, given his late September Tommy John surgery. With Greinke, Verlander, and McCullers all free agents after the season, Odorizzi makes sense from a multi-year perspective, though the Astros' proximity to the $210 million competitive balance tax threshold there at $201.2 million via roster resource could be an issue. So, this is interesting. I mean, right now, if you go take a look at the payroll for the Astros, like they just said, taking a look, like they said, they're at $201.2 million. So, could maybe you do, I don't know, where you can do the AAV, maybe at like, I don't know. I think that might be kind of hard. I don't know if you can convince him to take like $8 million per year. I don't know. I think that might be a bit of a stretch, but maybe they go over the luxury tax for this 1 year, and then they got some payroll coming off the books next season. So it makes a lot of sense for them right now to go after a Jake Odorizzi. But, I mean, the only problem is, do they want to go over that luxury tax? And I don't know. They would be fine after next season. They would have to pay a little penalty. But I think Jake Odorizzi would make a lot of sense for this team. This is a team that could – I'm not looking at Nate Pearson. What am I doing? I think this really does make a lot of sense for the Astros. I mean, you're losing – Framber Valdez was really good last year. He was good in the postseason. You're losing a pretty decent arm. So Odorizzi, I think, would he could slide in as like you're in that rotation. Jake Odorizzi would be like a 2 or like a 2-3. You would have Greinke, you would have Lance McCullers Jr., and then you would have Odorizzi. I think it makes a lot of sense for the Astros. I think it would be a good fit for both sides. However, the only thing, the Astros would have to go over that luxury tax most likely, unless they can do some kind of like a backloaded deal. I'm not really sure, where they can make the AAV, like, I don't even know if you would do that, like 8, 9, like it would have to be under $9 million. So I don't know if he would do that. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So definitely keep your eyes open, though, for the Houston Astros possibly going after a Jake Odorizzi. So, alrighty, everyone. So yesterday on last night's show, I introduced a new segment to the show. And I think you guys kind of liked it for the most part. And that is our new segment called Trivia Time, where we take a little break from the news and I ask you guys a trivia question, and let's see if you guys can get it right. So, I hope you're ready for some trivia time. Here is the question of the day. Hope you're ready. Let's go. Who was the last Padres pitcher to lead the major leagues in strikeouts? You got 30 seconds. And the answer is Jake Peavy in 2007 with 240. I think Jackson was the first one to have it. I'm double checking to see. Bobby Ross Paints, thank you for the compliment of the beautiful face. What can I say? I had my good side that day. Jake Peavy, yes, Action Jackson. He was the one to get it right first. Congratulations. I don't want to hit the intro. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Jake Peavy. Who remembers Jake Peavy? I love Jake Peavy. When the Red Sox traded for him, oh, man, I love that. I love Jake Peavy. That guy was a bulldog on the mound. That guy, if you want to hear some guy, like someone just grunt on the mound the entire time, Jake Peavy. When that guy was just slinging in like 95, 96, man, nasty sliders. Oh, my God. Love Jake Peavy. Jake Peavy, fun story about Jake Peavy. When they won the World Series in 2013, the guy bought a duck boat. What the duck boats that are in Boston, he bought one. He bought one of those duck boats. So Jake Peavy, always a big fan of Jake Peavy. It's too bad the Padres couldn't do more with Jake Peavy, unfortunately. I still remember in 2004. Oh, Michael Yench asked me a harder Padres question. Hey, you know what? I was kind of looking through some trivia questions, and I was like, oh, you know what? I like Jake Peavy. I'm going to ask this one today. So be on the lookout for next time's trivia time question. But alrighty, everyone, good little break from the news. Well, we're basically done with the news, but our last segment of tonight, we're going to go take a look at, here we go. We're going to go take a look at the MLB.com World Series favorites. They have ranked each team from number 1 to 30. So really simple article. They've just, like I said, they've ranked them 1 to 30. The number 1 being the best chance at winning the World Series this year. So let's go take a look at it. Let's go take a look together. And we're going to start all the way at the bottom. So I'm sure a lot of you may have already taken a look. I'm going to probably go through at least the bottom half fairly quickly. And then we'll get to the top half. Unless there's some in the bottom half where I think maybe they should be up higher. So let's go take a look. Alrighty. So starting off with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, I agree. And I'm not going to get too deep into these because, I'm not fully in team preview mode yet. I will be doing my division previews in a couple weeks. So be on the lookout for those. So I'm not going to go too deep into these. And again, I could change my mind about any of this tomorrow. I could change my mind as soon as I end my stream. You guys know me. I have a potato for a brain. Here we go. Starting off, Pittsburgh Pirates. I mean, they got some fun young players. I really like some of the prospects they brought in. But, yeah, Pirates, no chance. So definitely excited for Brian Hayes, though. Really like him. Moving on, Baltimore Orioles. I think, they got some fun players, but maybe, you got Felix Hernandez that they just brought in. Maybe he could end up doing something, but, yeah, Orioles got no chance. Rockies, I think, could the Rockies end up being a surprise team? The Rockies, they've been this team in the last few years. Granted, they've had Arenado, but could they maybe put something together this season? They still got some good guys on that team. You got German Marquez, John Gray in that rotation. Could Trevor Story have a good year? Charlie Blackmon's still there. Who knows? Maybe the Rockies can end up doing something. I don't think there's any chance to win a World Series, though. Rangers, I think they could have a fun team this year. They could definitely have some good power numbers. Are they going to have enough pitching to get to the World Series? No, probably not. Diamondbacks, I actually think the Diamondbacks could be a little higher on this list. This isn't making the playoffs. This is World Series chances, World Series favorites. So yeah, Diamondbacks, I don't think really have a chance to win the World Series this year. I like some of the pieces on that team. I mean, I love Zach Gallen. I mean, Madison Bumgarner, could he have, a bounce back season? Hey, Madison Bumgarner, we all know him for his postseason success. So I could maybe argue, the Diamondbacks got some fun pieces offensively. I love Ketel Marte, but I think the Diamondbacks maybe could be a little higher on this list. I don't think they have a shot at winning it, but I think they could maybe be a sneaky team that's in the hunt for a wild card maybe. I think that might be a little out of reach, but hey, I could see the Diamondbacks being in it. The Mariners, I think the Mariners, again, it's kind of hard to really look at this, because this is World Series favorite, so it's not playoff chances. But Seattle Mariners, yeah, I don't really see enough. I don't see enough at all to win a World Series this year. I think they could in the next 3 years. You get some young guys coming up. You got all these young guys, Kalenic. You got Julio Rodriguez if he progresses the way he should. You still got Kyle Lewis there. You just drafted Emerson Hancock. You got George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. I mean, if these young guys can end up stepping up, I mean, and then you add some free agents in the next couple of years, I think the Seattle Mariners team could be really fun. But no chance to win a World Series this year. Tigers, no. Spencer Torkelson, I'm looking, could he debut this year? I think the bat is that mature to come up and maybe do some damage. We'll have to see. But maybe they want to keep him down in the minors for most of the year. Maybe he comes up near the end of the year. We'll have to see. They got some good arms in the in that young rotation. Casey Mize, Scoop Ball, Manning. But is that enough to get them to the World Series? Probably not. Taking a look, Marlins. Fun team this past year in that COVID season. A bit of an anomaly. Yeah, I said that right. Hey, they got past the Cubs. I mean, I don't know, but are they gonna have enough this year? I would actually put the Diamondbacks ahead of the Marlins here. I mean, what does it really matter? But I think the Marlins, I mean, they took advantage of a short season last year, and they did it. They got past the freaking Cubs, and they made it to the division round. I think I would put the Marlins a little lower on this list. I love Sanchez. I love Eliezer Hernandez. I think he's one of the more underrated arms in the game. I love Pablo Lopez. Could they maybe make like this crazy run? I don't know. I don't know if the offense is going to be really there, but I don't know. Giants, I don't know. I mean, it kind of gets like this weird team. When I look at the Giants, I think like a below average team. But who knows? They still got a lot of, good mix of veterans and young players. Could they go on a run? Have to see. It's going to be tough in that West, though. So getting out of that West is going to be really hard. Definitely at least you're going to get the chances of the wild card coming out of the West in the National League this year, it's got to be at least like 95% chance, right? Taking a look, Royals, I think, could be a fun team. Do they have enough pitching to get to a World Series? I don't know, but I really like some of these low-key kind of moves they made. I think they could be a really fun team. Could they shock the world and go on a crazy run? We'll have to wait and see. That American League is wide open. My Red Sox at number 20. Oh, come on. Give me some love. Oh, come on. A little higher? Could we at least have gotten into at least 19? Oh, come on. Dang. All right. Well, to be honest with you, I don't think my Red Sox have a chance to win the World Series this year. I think they have a really good chance to go after a wild card, but I don't think they have a chance to really go to a World Series. I don't think they're going to have enough pitching. I think if Chris Sale comes back and ends up being healthy, could they go on this insane run? I don't know. It's funny because I see a good team here. I do. I do see a good team, but this is one of the more confusing teams to me because I think they could either stink or they could be pretty good. So I still have not figured out this team very much. So I'm all right with keeping them here for now. At least, dang it, man. Could you have at least give me one more spot? Just one more in the 19 through 11 range or 19 through 10. Could you have given me, something in there? Come on. All righty. But here we go. Phillies. I don't know. Do you give all right. I would say the Phillies are maybe a little better than the Red Sox right now. Or I think I don't know. I think they both these teams are they have similar issues. Not much depth in the pitching. Bullpen, I would say I like the Phillies bullpen. I actually like some of the moves they've made for their bullpen. I love the offense. They got some great pieces in that offense. All right, I'm fine with the Phillies being a little ahead. But the Phillies to win a World Series, I just don't think they have enough starting pitching. I don't think it's there. They have the offense. Could that bullpen come together? But the starting pitching, I worry about the depth. Could a Jake Odorizzi would be perfect. A middle of the order, middle of the rotation kind of a guy. The Cubs. I don't know about the Cubs, man. They don't really, I don't know. You're going in with a Kyle Hendricks, a Jake Arrieta. I don't know. I'd put the Phillies ahead of the Cubs. I would definitely put the Phillies ahead of the Cubs. I still like a lot of what the Cubs have, but I would put the Phillies ahead of the Cubs. I'd put the Cubs lower. I think the Red Sox have a better team than the Cubs. So I think the Red Sox have more. This is going to sound ridiculous. I think the Red Sox have more of a chance to get to the World Series than I would even say the Phillies and the Cubs, simply just because of the American League, National League. That American League is really open this year. And that National League is going to be so competitive. I think you could probably put the Red Sox ahead of the Phillies and the Cubs because I'd say talent-wise, both of these three teams are a little similar. I mean, you could make an argument for each team. But I would say with the Red Sox, just because, you'd have to get by some really good teams in the American League, but I would say the National League is way more locked down, than the American League is. So I would at least put the Phillies ahead of the Cubs. Angels, yeah, I mean, will they? I mean, a lot of things have to happen for the Angels for them to go on a run. I think Ohtani is really going to have to put it together. They need an ace. They don't have an ace. They've added a couple of guys this offseason, for that rotation. I mean, they've added Alex Cobb, Quintana, but is that enough starting pitching? Bundy had a good year last year, but it's a short season, not much of a track record. I don't know. I mean, I think they need an ace. That's why Bauer would have been great. So, I don't know. Ohtani's going to have to step up. We're going to have to wait and see what he ends up doing. They got the offense to get it done. They've added a couple of pieces for the bullpen. I like them adding Jose Iglesias. Angels, I think that's actually kind of an okay spot for them. They could go on a run. The Reds, no. You got to put the Reds lower. You can't have the Reds here. I'm sorry, but you can't tell me. You can't tell. I love Luis Castillo. I like Sonny Gray. I like Amir Garrett in the bullpen. The offense, though, no. The Phillies definitely have a better chance of getting to the World Series. The Cubs are better. The Red Sox have definitely a better chance than the Reds to get to the World Series. You got to put the Reds in the bottom 10. I don't know why. I didn't even notice the Reds weren't even in the bottom 10. This is way too high to me. Edwin NG, I am not a biased Red Sox fan. Stop it. Maybe a little bit. But I'm just saying, you can't have the Reds this high. You can't have the Reds higher than the Cubs, the Phillies, or my Red Sox. You can't. You cannot have the Reds right here at 16. There's no way. Indians, I actually do like the pitching that they have. I love Jose Ramirez, one of my favorite players. I like some guys in the bullpen. Karinchak, I like him. Are they going to have enough, though? I don't know. Could you say that Cleveland has a better team than the Red Sox? I don't know. I think the Indians have a better chance of winning their division than the Red Sox do, of winning the East. So I guess look at it from that point of view. So I'm okay with that. Nationals, I think the Nationals are going to be interesting this year. Could they go on another 2019 kind of a run? They have the talent. They added, John Lester for the rotation. Should be getting Strasburg back. I like the Nationals. I think there's still a lot of talent on this team, and you got one of the best players in the world in Juan Soto. I mean, come on. That offense is really good. You got Brad Hand for the bullpen. I like it. I like what the Nationals have. I'm okay with number 14. I'm okay with that. Hey, I'm in love with the Brewers right now. I love the defense. I love the starting pitching. I love the bullpen, at least the back end of the bullpen. So I don't know, but are they going to have enough to get by a Dodgers or a Padres or a Mets? I don't know. I think they're, to me, one of the best defensive teams. The best. The offense is a big question mark. I mean, I think Yelich is going to be fine. I think he's going to come back. I think he's going to be good. Going to have to wait and see. I don't know. I think maybe this is a little high considering the Brewers, they've never even won a World Series. So, I don't know. I think you can put some other teams ahead of the Brewers right now. I would put the Nationals ahead of the Brewers. Well, maybe not, because the Nationals in that division, they're going to have a hard time getting out of that division. I mean, you got the Braves and the Mets at the top of that division. So I could see where the Brewers have a better chance. I can see that because they're in such a weak division. So they could win that division and they can go on a run. Hey, look out for the Brewers this year. Is it just me? Or do the Brewers give you some 2020 Rays vibes? Does anyone get those vibes from the Brewers? I mean, think about it. They had really good starting pitching. They got some good arms in that bullpen. They got they got some good pieces in the offense, but are they going to be able to put the offense together? Kind of like the Rays offense. They had some good pieces in the offense, but in the playoffs, the offense didn't really show up. I don't know. I see a lot of the Brewers. I kind of look at this Brewers team and I sort of see the 2020 Rays a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. I get those vibes a little bit. So I don't know. Hey, next up, Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay kind of had a weird offseason. I mean, they lost Blake Snell, Charlie Morton, but they brought in guys like, Michael Wacha, Colin McHugh, Rich Hill. I kind of wonder with this Rays team. I wasn't a big fan of the offense. And now that starting pitching, I mean, you lost kind of like that big piece at the top, the two big pieces at the top. Tyler Glasnow, I like Tyler Glasnow, but I still think he has a ways to go to be one of like these top starting pitchers in the game. The reason Snell was so good because he had a lot of pitchers to work with. He could locate. Morton was a big game kind of a guy. Tyler Glasnow to me hasn't really fully put it all together. I kind of wonder about this Rays team a little bit. Gonna have to wait and see. I mean, but it's run by a very good organization. Gonna have to wait and see. Moving on, Toronto. Toronto is definitely a very interesting team. The only thing I worry about with Toronto, I said it earlier, is simply the starting pitching. The starting pitching depth, I wonder about it. Nate Pearson, I mean, that's a guy where they're gonna have to have him step up this year if they want to have World Series aspirations. And now he's already dealing with some kind of a groin injury. Is that going to linger into the season? Is that going to mess with him this year? I don't know. But I'm not a big fan of the starting pitching depth as it is. I like Ryu, but I feel like Ryu needs someone else. I mean, Ray, Roark, they're going to have to step up. Matz, he's going to have to step up. I like Stripling. I think he's fine, but not a great year last year. I don't know. I worry about the starting pitching. The offense is really good, obviously, bringing in George Springer. The bullpen, I do like some arms in the bullpen. I like this bullpen a lot, actually. I mean, Kirby Yates, I'm a big Kirby Yates fan. Can he be healthy? Gonna have to wait and see. I think the Blue Jays could be a dark horse World Series team. I don't know. Does dark horse even justify them? Maybe I think they're more than a dark horse. The Astros at number 10. All right. No, I would put the Blue Jays ahead of the Astros right now, especially now that Framber Valdez went down. Absolutely. If they had Framber Valdez, I think this would be a little more tough. The Blue Jays are definitely ahead of the Astros. Definitely. I could. Maybe they're putting the Astros ahead of the Blue Jays because of the division. That West is a little more open. So if they win, I think they have a better shot at winning that division than the Blue Jays do at winning the East. So maybe that's their thinking here. But Valdez went down. I don't know. I'm putting the Blue Jays ahead of the Astros right now because I think the Astros really get a lot weaker without Framber Valdez. So Oakland A's coming in at number 9. I definitely think the A's are a better team than the Astros. I like the A's. I think the A's could be a dark horse kind of a pick. I mean, you lost Hendricks, but you brought in Rosenthal. You brought in Soria. I like this A's team. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this A's team. People are kind of looking at what the Angels did this past offseason, but I think the A's still did pretty good themselves. I mean, they did lose some guys. Marcus Semien, they lost him. That's going to be a bad. Going back to the Blue Jays offense, you brought in Marcus Semien too. So, the A's did lose some pieces, but the A's seem to do pretty well at kind of plugging these guys in. But the A's, they can never really seem to get out of the wild card or the division round most years. I don't know. When was the last time the A's made it to the championship series? Was it 2006? Was that when they made it to the championship series? When was the last time the Oakland A's made it to the ALCS? Here we go. I think it was. Did they make it after 2006? No, that's not the right thing. Here we go. Yeah, they haven't made it to the ALCS since 2006. I mean, they've made it to the division round a couple of times, the wild card, but they just can't really seem to get past that first round. It seems like they just never really have the talent to get by that first round. I don't know. I kind of feel like it's more of the same. I think it's a little more of the same. I would put the Blue Jays ahead of the A's. I'd put the Blue Jays up higher right now. I like the A's starting pitching. I just think the A's have a little more going for them, like overall talent. So, I don't know. The Twins, this Twins team, they upset me every single year. Can this Twins team finally do something? I mean, let's go take a look at this Twins team. I think they're pretty good, but they just can't ever get it done. They always lose to the Yankees in the first round, or they lose in the wild card or whatever. But I think this Twins team is still really good. You got a good offense. You have a good bullpen. You have good starting pitching. I mean, could you still bring back Odorizzi? I think you could still bring him back. But I think the Twins, I think this is a good spot for them. I actually do like their team. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you did lose Trevor May. I didn't like that. But they did bring in Colomé, so I think that was okay. I don't know. You're going to have just this whole team. They just got to figure it out. I think they could go on a run. So, Cardinals. I don't know about this Cardinals team. A World Series? I mean, if we go take a look at the Cardinals. Taking a look. I mean, you got Arenado. I think the offense still... I like some pieces of the offense. I think it's a good enough offense. The starting pitching kind of weirds me out. I like Flaherty, but after him, it kind of weirds me out a little bit. And you got Kim there. You know, you got Wainwright, you got Carlos Martinez, you got Mykolas. I like some arms. You got some big arms in that bullpen. I mean, I like a lot of these arms in the bullpen. I think the Cardinals could make a run. I don't know, but like it's in that National League. So I think it's going to be really hard to get by the Dodgers, Padres, even the Mets. I don't know, but the Cardinals, they always seem to find a way to, be a pretty good competitive team every single year. Hey, they won the 2006 World Series, and no one saw that coming. So they won, 84 games that year, 86 games? But, hey, look out for the Cardinals. Look out. White Sox, now we're getting into a pretty fun team here. Good offense. The only thing I worry about is simply just the starting pitching depth. And they got some good guys at the top of that rotation. I think if they can get to the playoffs, if they can make it, if they can win the division, I think they're going to have a good shot. If they get to the wild card, I mean, they definitely have, guys that could throw in a wild card game. But if it's a one-game take-all, I don't know. I mean, then it's a little But if you can get to a 5-game series first off for the White Sox, I think they got to win the division. You got to win the division. I think this White Sox team, you could see them, they could go home early if they go to a wild card game. If they can get to the division round with, it's going to, I don't know, I just worry about the depth. I just think that maybe the Twins are a little deeper with starting pitching. The White Sox are definitely more top heavy, but I think the Twins, they have a few more options to get through a long season. But they're definitely good enough to make a run in the playoffs. They could get by this Yankees team. They definitely could. The Atlanta Braves. I like this Atlanta Braves team. I really do. They lost some arms in the bullpen. They did lose some arms, but I do like this Braves team. I do like them. I love the offense. I like the starting pitching. If everyone can stay healthy. The bullpen, a little, they're going to have some guys step up. But I really like this Braves team. I really do. Leon Case, what's going on, my friend? Hello from Indiana. I like this Braves team. I think this is a good spot for them. The Mets, probably the best team this. I mean, people would say the Padres had the best offseason. I'm going to say the Mets had the best offseason. I think they won the offseason, but that doesn't mean you're going to win the season. So, and another thing too with the Mets, they say it right here. Yeah, I know we're too high on the Mets every year. And I think a lot of people are always high on the Mets. I was pretty high on them going into last year. And then, that didn't really work out. So, but they have shored up a lot of holes. Only problem, though, they got some competition in that National League. And I think the Braves, I mean, same thing. I mean, we're going to get to these two teams here in a second. Number 3, the Padres. I think that's a good spot. I think the Padres are a good spot. The roadblock is the defending champion Dodgers. But it's not even just the Dodgers. If the Dodgers are going to win that division, which I think the Dodgers right now they're better suited to win that division just because they're a deeper team, at least major league, in the major leagues at the moment. They're a deeper team. They can withstand a long season better than the Padres can. If the Padres get to a wild card game, I hate to tell you this, everyone. I'm going to say it. You might not like what you're about to hear, but this Padres team, if they get to a wild card game, they could lose that wild card game. I mean, obviously, it's a one-game playoff. Anyone could lose in a one-game playoff. But I think this Padres team, if you run up against like Jacob deGrom against the Mets in a wild card game, I mean, that's not going to be easy, man. That's not going to be easy. That's going to be tough. You go up against a Jack Flaherty and a Cardinals team, or, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Like even the Braves. Let's say you run up against the Braves, in a wild card game. They throw Charlie Morton out there for a one-game playoff, or a Soroka or a Fried. This Padres team, they could making that wild card game, which as of right now I think is the more likely scenario. I don't know, man. That's going to be a tough task in a wild card game because you're going to be having really good teams going in that wild card game. So, but I think this is fine for the Padres. I would maybe even argue, do you put the Okay, so you have to remember these rankings are winning the World Series. So to win the World Series, you have to get to the World Series. Would you argue right now that the White Sox have a better chance of getting to the World Series than the Padres do? Tell me in the chat. I actually want to know what you guys think. Do you think the White Sox have a better chance of making it to the World Series than the Padres? I think that's a pretty interesting question. I don't think that's too, far-fetched. I think the White Sox have a case to maybe get to the World Series than the Padres, a better chance of getting to the World Series than the Padres do. Not based off of talent. I'm not saying because of the talent of the team, just because of the road there. I think the White Sox have more of an open path to the World Series. I mean, that American League is more wide open than the National League is. So, I don't know. I have to wait and see. But this Padres team is still very talented. The Yankees. I mean, this team, I'm telling you, this team, they didn't have the most flashy offseason. They didn't make the big moves. They didn't bring in a Trevor Bauer, or they didn't, go after like a big name like a Francisco Lindor or like a Trevor Story. But they added a lot of high upside kind of guys. Kluber, Tyon, they added them. They added some pretty decent pieces for the bullpen. You brought DJ LeMahieu back. Gleyber Torres, can you shore up that glove at shortstop and then also have that offense get back to what he was doing a couple of years ago? Hey, Wesley Chad Larks, I am not hating on the Padres. I am more hating on their path there. It's that National League is just so that's a tough National League. I'm just saying the White Sox, that American League is a little more open to me. So I'm not hating on the Padres at all, my friend. Not hating on the Padres. But the Yankees, though, I definitely think they have the best chance to get to the World Series out of the American League. There's a lot of high upside on this team. They got a lot of depth. If you go look at the Yankees rotation right now, this Yankees rotation there's a lot of guys that could be in this rotation. I mean, look at this. I mean, as of right now, you got Cole, Kluber, Tyon, Montgomery, and then you got Domingo Germán. But you got all these other guys. Where is the list of guys? You got Davy Garcia, Clark Schmidt in the minor leagues. I mean, Davy Garcia is already thrown in the major leagues. So Clark Schmidt, Garcia is a little more ahead than Clark Schmidt, but they have all these other guys too. So let me go back to the rotation. You still got, oh, I'm going blank on some names right now. Who is the, you got Luis Severino. So he's not even on here. He's still on the injury list. So Severino has been really good in the past. Can he come back and get back to being Luis Severino? I mean, then you got a pretty deep rotation at that point. You got a lot of arms. So, I mean, I'm just saying I like this Yankees team. I think they can definitely make it to the World Series this year. And if they can get to the World Series, I think they have a chance of winning it. But number one, as expected, the Dodgers. Look at the Dodgers. I mean, like they say here, there's no reason to get cute. There really is no reason to get cute with this team. They are as shored up of a team as I think maybe we have ever seen. I mean, I know there have been teams that have won the offseason before and teams that look good on paper and then they end up disappointing you. But man, if there is one team where you can make an exception for that, this is the team. I mean, look at this. I mean, this team just won a World Series, and I mean, they are just primed. Great offense, really good starting pitching. Not even just really good starting pitching. They have deep starting pitching. You have Kershaw, Bauer, who they just added, Buehler, Urias, Price. That's stupid. You have David Price as your number 5. I don't care what anyone says. David Price is definitely better than a number 5. But then you got Gonsolin. You got all these other guys. There's so many guys. I mean, you got Dustin May too. There's so many. They are so deep starting pitching. They have a good bullpen. I mean, Brusdar Gratterall's only getting better. You got Shrine in there to shore it up if you need him to, maybe take over for the closer role. What is there not to like about this Dodgers team? They are deep offensively. They are deep with starting pitching. They are deep with the bullpen. They have minor league depth. I mean, even if they sustain injuries, you can have guys step in. You could have a 2019 Yankees injury report, and they would still be good to go. So, I'm just saying. I mean, there's I don't know, man. I think you have to put the Dodgers at number 1. Like they say right here, this is a fully operational winning machine. So, I would say there's some teams on here that could move up or down, but for the most part, I would say this list is fine. I agree with most of it. I think you can make an argument for some teams lower. I would put the Blue Jays a little higher. I'd put the Blue Jays higher than the A's. I would even argue, no, I think the Twins are definitely ahead of the Blue Jays right now just because the Twins are in a weaker division. So I would put the Blue Jays ahead of the Astros and the A's. The Rays are confusing. I'll tell you, I like the Brewers starting pitching better than the Rays. However, the Rays are in the American League. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the National League is way better than the American League this year. I mean, you got a lot of you already know that. But so I think the Rays, based off of the league that they're in, have a better chance of getting there than the Brewers do. The Nationals, I mean, that's going to be. I think the Brewers definitely should be ahead of the Nationals simply just because of the division they're in. Cleveland, oh, it doesn't say Cleveland Indians. I just noticed that. Wow, they're sticking with Cleveland. All right. Is that what they're going to be called this year? Just Cleveland? Are they still going to be called the Indians this year? Or are they now just Cleveland? Huh. Yeah, they are just Cleveland. Oh, interesting. I thought they were sticking with the Indians name for one more year. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Reds, I think, should be way lower on this list. Way lower. I'm not sure what they were doing here. I think they thought, like, all right, we got to get cute with one of these. Let's just put one of these teams up higher. I would put the Reds lower on this list. You could argue that the Red Sox could be a little higher. Whatever. Call me biased if you want. But I think the Phillies, the Cubs, I think the Red Sox, being in the American League, I think they have a better shot of making it than the Cubs and the Phillies do, especially the Phillies. I think the Red Sox have a better chance of making it to the playoffs than the Phillies do. Because the Phillies, they got some talent to get through. You got to get by the Braves, the Nationals, and the Mets in that division. The Red Sox, I mean, yeah, they got some talented teams to go through too, but I think the Red Sox, they could get it done. Now, I'm not saying they will, but I think they have a better shot than the Phillies do. I don't know. I think the bottom of this list is pretty much good. I would put the Reds down here somewhere, but I don't know. Maybe put the Reds at 22 and then bump everyone else up one. So, I don't know. But that's all I got, everyone. Wow, we're at 69 people. Wow, we got up to our, we haven't been up to 70, at least close to 70, I think, in a couple weeks now. So, hey, everyone. Good to have you all in here. But everyone, that is all I got for tonight. Let me go over the stories real quick. Jackie Bradley Jr. going to the Brewers. Nate Pearson dealing with a right groin strain at the moment. What's going to happen with him? Framber Valdez could be out for the season as well. And again, I just went through the MLB.com World Series favorites. So if you want to go look at that again, it's on MLB.com. Before I get out of here, if you are new right now, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 6K by opening day. So if you are looking for more baseball content and news, think about hitting that subscribe button. Hit that like button for me, everyone, before you get out of here. Go follow me on Twitter if you would like to talk some baseball throughout the day. But everyone, that is all I have for tonight. I appreciate you guys coming out tonight. And, I will be doing my top 10 relief pictures tomorrow and my top 10 starting pictures tomorrow. So be on the lookout for those tomorrow. So everyone, have a great night. Thank you again for coming out tonight. And as always, I'll talk to you next time.